This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everybody, welcome to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio, where we are talking all things grooming with some possible laughs along the way. We are your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with my son Anthony Ray. Guys, I can tell you that in this episode today, it's no laughing matter. So, as usual, we might be poking some fun at ourselves, but we will be discussing the ongoing problem that we have mentioned in past shows. That's injuries and deaths in the grooming shop. This is just the current thing happening right now. We really need to talk about this. We want to address this issue and come up with some possible solutions to help better the situation. We're going to talk about that and much, much more when we come back on Groomer Humor.
I love cleaning the litter box, said no one ever. Luckily, there's World's Best Cat Litter, the litter that promises less mess with less litter. Only World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to quickly trap odors in tight clumps. And quick clumping means you never have to chisel or scrape the box. Less cleanup with less wasted litter? That's a litter bit amazing. Save $2 on World's Best Cat Litter. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Groomer Humor, guys. Again, we are your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with my son, Anthony Ray. And as we said up front, today's topic, not such a good one, guys. You know, in current events here, we're facing the problem of dogs getting seriously injured or even death at some of the grooming shops. This is a big problem, guys. So we never stop talking about safety. You could check out our grooming videos. You can listen to our past shows. If you ever hear the overtone of everything we're ever trying to say, we're really trying to drive home the safety issues because, again, this industry, this business requires that. It requires safety. And we've been talking about it. I've been talking about it for 20 years. Now there's just multiple platforms where we could really get it out there. And again, things are happening. Dogs are dying, and they're dying because of just lack of experience, mainly. That's not the only reason, but mainly. And, our condolences, our heart goes out to the pet owners. I know that there was most recently, there was Abby, the Corgi, that passed away. Unfortunately, she was like the third dog to die at this one shop in New Jersey here. So there's a problem here, guys. There were some others. There was Scruffles. There's a couple of attorneys trying to pass some laws now, one of them being Scruffles law. We have a Senator, Kip Bateman, who is trying to pass what's called Bijou's law. It's a dog who passed away a couple of years ago. And Bijou's law, let's talk a little bit about that. That's where, he's trying to pass a law where groomers need to be trained and licensed, which is great. I mean, this is definitely important. Don't you agree, Ann? I mean, we've been talking about this forever. Where dog groomers need to be trained and licensed. So,
Definitely a step in the right direction there, specifically.
Right. But with that being said, though, we went online just recently, pulled up some blogs. There's a great veteran groomer. Her name is Diane Morial. She's over here in Jersey with us. She works at Whiskers and Tails. This is a veteran dog groomer. She's been grooming for 28 years. And she made a good point. She said, well, what's it going to be? Are you going to go in, take a written test, and then all of a sudden now you're a dog groomer? I mean, what is that going to do? Not much, in my opinion.
No, it needs to be way more than that.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be way more than that. And I can tell you right now that unless the lawmakers, Senator Kip Bateman, unless you start or contacting veteran dog groomers like ourselves, and maybe you have already. I'm not sure if he has. I'm not sure of the ins and outs as far as what this senator is doing, but I would love to actually want to reach out to him. Maybe we can have him on the show to discuss these matters because, again, veteran dog groomers like Diane, like myself, like Vivian and John Nash of Nash Academy of Animal Arts, that's the grooming school I went to. We need to step forward because us veteran dog groomers are the ones that really know what's going on because we know the ins and outs of this business. And part of the problem, like I said earlier, is just lack of experience. We're throwing people into this mix, into this very, very detailed job that have little or no experience. So, I mean, what do you think is going to happen, right?
Right. Well, and it's the thing is it's happening everywhere. It's not just here. We had Amy Elliott Smith on a couple weeks ago. She's all the way in the UK. She says it's the same exact thing over there that anybody can just sort of decide one day, hey, I want to start grooming dogs and cats and just pick up a pair of scissors and begin. There's just no regulation.
Exactly.
And then like you said, too, some of the regulations are a written test. That's really that's not enough. It's okay, great. You know your breeds. Great. You know what size blade to use on the pads, but that's not, but
right.
You have to do it physically though. You need to learn and experience it and do it more extensively, at least for sure.
Right. Exactly. And not only that, you have to have the know-how and the experience, which comes over years and years of doing this. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I'm still learning and I've been grooming for 33 years. You have to know when to stop. As groomers, from a groomer's perspective, you have to know when to say no to the service. For example, like we've talked about in the past with dogs that are older. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a client, this was years ago, this was in my old shop, but I had a woman come in whose dog I had been grooming for, I would say, maybe 8 years. I groomed her dog at the tail end of her dog's life. The dog got old, very old by the last time she came in. So she came in and I refused my service because as a professional dog groomer and someone who has seen this many, many times, again, this is where experience comes in. I knew for a fact the dog just could not go through another grooming. So I said no. I said, I'm sorry, I can't groom her today because she just doesn't look right. She can't handle this. She can't go through this process today. Well, lo and behold, the woman actually got really upset with me and said, listen, she needs a grooming. I waited 2 weeks for this appointment. I'm going to go elsewhere. I literally said, I don't suggest that. And I really don't think that she should go through another grooming at this juncture in her life. Well, I heard from her about 3 weeks later, and she left me a message on my phone. It said that she had went to another groomer, and 3 days later, the dog passed away. In the message, she actually blamed me for not grooming her dog, and that's why her dog died. So, think about that, right? So, again, it's just lack of experience because what she did was she went to a less experienced dog groomer. They put the dog through the process, and the dog ended up probably having a heart attack.
Well, dogs have bad hearts. I mean, some breeds worse than others, but dogs definitely have bad hearts. But that's one of the reasons why you refuse it as a groomer when they get too old, because they just can't go through it that much. Their hearts aren't really made for it.
Exactly. So it's not just being a dog groomer and giving haircuts. That's not what this is about. This is identifying. This is about being able to really look at a dog, look at its condition. Dogs can have hip dysplasia. Dogs can have skin problems, their ear infections, back problems, dislocated shoulders. They could have, abscessed teeth that are causing tremendous amounts of pain to the dog. All of these things come with long time experience. You only get to see these things when you're in the business for, say, 5 years, 10 years, 28 years like Diane Morial or the Nashes, Joey Villani, all of the veteran dog groomers out there, myself. You only get to see these things when you are in this business for that length of time. And even with that, what do you do with it? What do you do with it?
You know how in a lot of businesses and a lot of professions, people will say, oh, you'll never see everything. You'll see something new at every juncture in this career. I honestly don't think that dog grooming is like that. This is the kind of business with enough experience where you are going to actually see everything. You're going to see everything, but you are only going to see everything through experience, like you're saying. You'll see, and like, crazy off the walls things. We've groomed a 3-legged dog before. Now I've seen everything. But that phrase, that quote does apply to grooming. You will see everything. You'll see everything. You'll see dogs of all kinds with all kinds of different things, good and bad, sicknesses or whatever, anything. But you won't know what to do without all of that experience. You're going to eventually see everything, and then you'll know what to do. But this is if there's any profession that you can't just jump into out of the blue, it's dog grooming. There's just too much at stake. There's way too much at stake. These are loved pets.
That's right.
Pets are family members. It might sound corny, but that's how every single one of our customers views it. That's how I view it. It's how you view it. We love it. Yeah,
exactly. It's a great point. And with that being said, with such a high demand, with something that's so important, how is anybody and everybody allowed to be a dog groomer?
Yeah.
With what you just said, with us treating our dogs as family members, and they are, how is it that anybody and everybody could be a dog groomer?
Yeah, and on top of all of that, it's a 100% necessity. Your dog does need to get groomed.
That's right.
Even though at one point in its life, it is going to get too old where it's unsafe, but it doesn't, we're talking about in the longevity, in the big picture, grooming is 100% necessary. Your dog's nails need to be clipped. Your dog needs to be washed and bathed and groomed and taken care of, upkept.
Right. And I think it should be treated as any other schooling out there. Okay. Yeah. We need dog grooming schools. Listen, if you go to vet school, if you go to veterinarian school, not everybody is going to come out of that with a passing grade and go on to be a veterinarian. But yet, with something so similar to what a vet does, because groomers do very, very similar things that vets do. We treat animals. We treat them for ear infections. We clean out ears. We are treating them for skin problems and fleas and ticks. But yet, anybody and everybody could be a dog groomer. It has to be treated and we've discussed this in our last show, where do you have what it takes show? No, not everybody has what it takes. As a matter of fact, very few people are able to really do this and do it correctly. And that's what needs to be addressed. So in my opinion, before any laws are changed or imposed, we need to re-identify the industry itself. Something has to be done. And again, that's why this has to be discussed. That's why we're going to reach out to people, or if you're listening to the show, reach out to us. We want to discuss how to better this industry and make it more safe for our pets the right way. The right way, not just by passing a law. Because here's the other thing too. And again, I'm sympathizing with pet owners, especially you guys that have just recently lost your dogs. We're so sorry to hear that. It breaks my heart that it happened. And not to say, listen, injuries happen, deaths do happen, but when they happen, when it could have been prevented, it's a whole different story.
Yeah. That's where the problem is. Yeah,
that's where it is. So again, it has to be addressed, because at the same time, as groomers, we have to protect ourselves too, because who's to say that, a dog's not coming into your shop with a pre-existing problem that the owner doesn't even know about. Okay. And here you are, you're taking in a dog that may have heart disease or a severe back injury that you don't know about and the owner doesn't know about. And you bring that dog to the groomer, and all of a sudden, just by being picked up or anything, or being lifted to shave the belly or something, that dog's back gets thrown out. Is it the groomer's fault? Is it the groomer's fault that this dog came in with a pre-existing condition, not knowing, trying to do his job or her job, and now all of a sudden, the dog groomer, this veteran dog groomer, is being brought up on criminal charges?
Right.
There's something wrong with that. So we have to dig much, much deeper. And I think that responsibility-wise, there has to be better communication between client and dog groomer, dog owner and dog groomer. And again, you're not going to learn any of this in some crash course that you take to try to become a dog groomer,
No, I think that the industry as a whole we need to hit reset. I think that
Yeah.
somewhere along the line, just the industry's regulations, the outlook on the industry from people who don't know as much about it, it's gotten very skewed. Dog grooming became something that's just, oh, it's fun. It must be so much fun. It must be so laxed.
And it's anything but.
This is a very high stress job. And we've always said, and even Amy mentioned that, dogs pick up on that. So now you're in a high stress situation every day. But us as dog groomers, you put that aside. You have to focus. You need to be okay. The dog's going to feed off your stress, so you can't get so stressed. So, the industry as a whole needs to be reset, I think. It used to be a lot different. And then over the course of time, a lot more information got out there. And it's just, like you said, we really need to increase communication here and all come to some solutions. It can't always be blame this, blame that. And we need to some concrete solutions, because these dogs are getting hurt now, and we can't, that can't happen.
As time went on, as opposed to it becoming a more serious job, it turned more into a novelty job. And that's what aggravates me. We have turned dog grooming into some kind of novelty, and it shouldn't have gone in that direction. When I went to grooming school, and listen, I thank God every day. Again, shout out to Vivian, John Nash, Joey Villani, Nash Academy of Animal Arts. I went to the old one in Cliffside Park. 1985. When I went to Nash Academy, it was headed in the right direction due to these great people. One of our founding people was a woman named Shirley Calstone, who actually she originated the Intergroom. Now, with people like this, they wanted it to go in the right direction. When I first started going to Nash Academy, it was nothing but safety, safety, safety. Just like what we do in our videos, table training videos, spraying your clippers down, handling dogs, picking them up correctly. This is what you should be learning in dog grooming school. You should be learning safety. You're not going to learn how to groom until you get out there and start grooming. You shouldn't come out of a dog grooming school thinking that you're a dog groomer. You're not. Right. What you've done is you've created a mold, and now you have to fulfill that mold. Right. But safety, safety, safety has to be the priority here. And again, not everybody should be a dog groomer. As a matter of fact, like I said before, as far as schooling, I remember I talked to, when I went to grooming school, again, I had the liberty of being around some really, really great veteran groomers. Another one that comes to mind is John Statsko. John Statsko, in our orientation class, I think it was a group of maybe 20 of us at the time. John Statsko said that only one of us out of those 20 people would go on to have a grooming career past 5 years. I was that one.
Right.
I was that one.
And that's a very fair assessment on his part too. He hit the nail on the head with that. Yes.
That's right.
Out of 20 people, one of them is likeliest. Only one.
That's right. And I'm here to say, thank you. I thank these people wholeheartedly. But again, right now, currently, we have a huge situation on our hands that has to be fixed. This has to be, because I can tell you right now, by passing some kind of like written test or something like that, it may actually cause even more problems, because now you may set a standard where people will just say, "Ooh, I want to be a dog groomer," out of the blue. All I have to do is pass the test. Either that, or it's going to create this fear, which it is creating, where people are not going to go to veteran dog groomers, or veteran dog groomers are going to be scared to even groom dogs because they're going to be afraid that they're going to be criminalized because of these new laws for something that, needs to be kind of honed out. This really needs to be honed out.
Right. And of course, the step after that will be somebody who would be a very good dog groomer in the future is going to avoid getting into the business because they're too afraid of getting in trouble and all of this. And the world needs good dog groomers. And it's going to shy. People who would be great at it, who do have what it takes, are going to shy away from it.
Right. Exactly.
That's not good. That's not a good thing.
No, it's a great point, Anthony. Yeah. And here's the other thing too. The average dog groomer, the average veteran small shop dog groomer makes about $50,000 a year. Okay, so let's say, something happens. A dog gets hurt. A dog, falls off a table, which, these things happen. If you're going to hold this person liable, you're literally just going to put a veteran dog groomer out of business on one incident. Okay. And again, most of this stuff isn't happening in the mom pop stores, the veteran dog groomers. It's happening in the bigger places that are just kind of like just, letting people pass through, as dog groomers. And again, it's got to be a big halt here. And, we have to figure out, do you have what it takes? Are you a dog groomer or are you not? It's like somebody who throws a baseball. You could tell right away just by they threw the baseball. I don't know if you're going to make it in baseball, kid, but why don't you try accounting? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the same thing, Yeah. So I urge people to listen to our show. Again, I want to reach out to Kip Bateman. I want to reach out to other veteran dog groomers. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear what you have to say about it. Okay, because it's just that important. I love what I do, and I want to keep this industry going. But the way that it's going right now, currently, it's not a good thing. It's just not good.
No, I think that I like what you're saying. We do need to reach out because we're trying to create a platform. We need to give groomers a voice and customers a voice too, because Absolutely. You guys have a job to do too. If you're a customer, you love your pet. And you obviously we don't have any groomings of dogs or cats that aren't loved. So right. You guys all love your pets. So we need to come together, like you said earlier, communicate. We need to, hopefully in the future, we'll find a way to have proper documentation so that everybody knows what is going on with the dog, what can be achieved in the grooming, when, legitimately when the dog shouldn't be groomed anymore. There are so many things that need to be covered. It's hard to figure out where to start, but we start here. We start with talking about it and discussing it with other groomers, with customers, even, with anybody we can, just to sort of see if we could come up with some solutions together, because we all love dogs. That's the one thing right. that everybody has in common, So we start from there.
Exactly. And again, we're trying to better this industry. And it's a good point. A lot of it does have to come from the customer too, from the dog owner. You have to bring your dog to the vet. You groom dogs. All that's required, that we require even currently at our shop, is that your dog has, a rabies and distemper and parvovirus shot. Well, that's not enough. Again, you have to bring your dog to the vet and find out if there's any pre-existing conditions. And until that's done, then I feel that dog groomers, veteran dog groomers anyway, need to have people sign release forms, which doesn't tie them responsibly for anything, as far as, say, your dog could have a bad skin problem, pre-existing skin problem that hasn't been looked at by the vet, and all of a sudden now you're getting accused for it. Again, this has to be really honed down to some guidelines.
Yes.
And it starts with the pet owner. It starts with the pet owner. If there's any heart problems, hip problems, skin problems, etc. I mean, there could be a host of problems. There has to be, it's like a personal trainer. If you're a personal trainer, legally, a personal trainer can't train you unless you have a good, clean bill of health from a doctor. Mm-hmm. Okay. So why should it be any different for right. dog grooming? Right. You have to have a clean bill of health. If there's a hip problem, if there's any kind of problem, the groomer can't be responsible for that. Again, so we're looking at it from both ends. We're not blaming the owners. We're not blaming the groomers, but we are blaming the groomers for lack of experience. That right. is on the grooming industry itself. And that's what has to change on the grooming industry's end.
Yeah.
That lack of experience, we need better guidelines. We need more schooling. We need more licensing. So we're all for it. But again, is it something that is also going to hurt our veteran dog groomers out there, which that I don't want to do, because like you said, there's too many dog groomers out there that are doing this for the right reason, because they really, truly love dogs and they're good at it. You have to be good at it, you know?
And being good at it doesn't just mean in a course that only took me a couple of weeks, I learned how to hold a pair of clippers. Okay, that's great. But being good at this requires so much more than that. It's not even funny. You could only learn so much in a couple of weeks, and like you said earlier, you got to see it too. You got to learn how to assess certain situations. Learning how to cut hair that's not even half the battle. That's like 30% of the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. I had a customer come in one time. Okay. And you know what a lot of customers do is they do the thing where, like, right before you have to go to the dentist, you brush your teeth real hard, thinking that, you're going to do a good job. And
I've done it. Nobody deny that. Nobody deny that.
Everybody could admit right before your dental cleaning, you're scrubbing your teeth with sandpaper, right? Well, the same thing happens with dog grooming. People will let their dog go too long. The dog will be completely matted, and they'll try to brush it out really, really hard right before the dog grooming, and they'll do what's called a brush burn, which means you're irritating the skin so bad with a slicker brush because you're brushing one area for too long of a time. And I've had people come in, and I look at it, and I can tell because, again, I'm a veteran dog groomer. I know what you just did. I know your dog is matted, but I know you attempted to brush it out. And I'll look and I'll say, hey, look, you brush burned your dog here. Even point out the irritation that they caused. Shave the dog down. I'll groom the dog and have them still accuse me of brush burning the dog.
Right.
You see, so again, there's that fine line. Everybody's going to start accusing dog groomers of everything, which may not be their fault, you know?
Therein lies the question. That's what we need to solve.
Right.
Together,
and again,
all of us.
Together, and not to say that what has currently happened with Scruffles and Abby and stuff. No, we're not trying to say that, that was the owner's fault by any means. Absolutely not.
No.
But what we are saying is that if we really, really want to help the situation, because again, guys, we just want to make sure that dogs are safe. We're as safe as they're going to be. There is going to be problems. There is going to be injuries. And there's more now than ever because the industry has grown so much and there's so many more dogs and dog grooming shops. So even statistically, we're seeing more injuries and deaths. But again, let's address this issue to kind of just keep those injuries down,
Yeah. And we need to protect everybody. I think we need to find a way to protect groomers and customers and the dogs, because the dogs are the ones in the middle who can't tell anybody, hey, my leg's hurting a little bit. Please don't lift my leg like that today. The poor dogs are the ones who can't say anything.
You're right. The dogs themselves are the innocent victims here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So us human beings, we have to come up. We have to come up big here, because we rationalize, we have the brains, we have to do what's right for these animals. So, you know what? Let's go to break, because we're running out of time real quick here. But let's go to break and let's discuss what we think might help out and come up with maybe some solutions. All right, so we're going to come back after this break on Groomer Humor.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. I'm Anthony Ray, hanging out with my dad, as always, Rudy V. And it has been a bit of a different episode this time around because topics are pretty serious. We've been discussing some deaths, some injuries in the that are happening, especially in our area, in the New Jersey area. It's where we groom out of, and some things have gone down. It's sort of in the last couple of months, weeks, and when we left, we were talking about all of that, and now we're gonna kind of discuss a couple of different maybe possible solutions that might help a little bit. So yeah, what did you?
Well, right off the bat, I think that there should be schooling with a passing or failing grade. Okay, because as it stands right now, you go to school and you automatically become a dog groomer. No, that shouldn't happen. There has to be some kind of guideline there where you actually take a course, and if you can't do certain things or you're just not good with animals or whatever teacher or professor, I think there should be a professor. I'll be one. Okay, there has to be schooling with a passing or failing grade. You should be able to fail out of grooming school and not go on to be.
Well, Yeah,
a dog groomer.
That's a great point because I failed honors science, and that's why I'm not a scientist today.
Exactly, and that's why you bathe dogs.
Right, and now I bathe dogs.
And now you bathe dogs.
Right, that's but you can apply that. That's the exact thing.
Yeah, that's why I failed gym, and that's why I scrub dogs' butts.
Right. Wow, you failed gym.
No, not really. It's just for the it's just for the show. Okay. Another thing is apprenticeship. Like what you're talking about, Anthony. You are an apprentice. There has to be an apprenticeship program. Someone needs to be weaned into this. There's no way that you should go through a 3-week course and be holding clippers and scissors in your hands. No way. So you have to be part of an apprenticeship program, which again is just driving home the issue of safety during that program.
I love that idea. That's my favorite one because you can start these programs. Grooming shops could choose to participate. You can, you have a whole program here, and you could get all the veteran grooming shops. I know, not everybody would be interested because just, depends on how you run your shop every day. But the grooming shops that could afford the time, you can get a great apprenticeship program going. You'll have so many grooming shops involved that they, whoever is trying to find the apprenticeship will be able to choose hopefully one that's in their area. And now they can experience all this stuff, and they can get in there, get in the door, see what goes on, and then they could start experiencing without even actually having to be the groomer themselves. And that just helps them for the future because now they'll know what to do in certain situations.
I agree 100%. That's a great point. So we need to create an organization. I would love to be a part of that organization. I will help get that organization going if need be, but there has to be a grooming organization where there are guidelines, there are safety guidelines where you have to be able to do this. And not only just do that, but you also would have to, just like a personal trainer, you will also have to re-up your certificate either annually or biannually just to make sure that you are keeping up to code with safety guidelines. There has to be safety guidelines, okay? Yeah. But again, you have to be a professional dog groomer to know what safety. The most injuries occur when dogs fall off of the table. Yeah. Secondly is blow drying, okay? Mm-hmm. But that's why we have so many. If you go to our YouTube channel, Grooming by Rudy, click on our table safety training. The reason why we did those videos is because that is the most common injury in a grooming shop is a dog falling off the table.
Yeah, I think we have 2 of them, and that's right. There's going to be more to come too because that's a whole series in itself because you could never know too much about table training.
That's right. So safety guidelines.
Very important.
Safety guidelines, be safe. We need to bring these things to the forefront. Let's, like you said earlier, Anthony, let's just reinvent dog grooming. Let's take care of this problem.
Yeah, there needs to be, like you said, guidelines. There needs to be policies. There just needs to be rules. I feel like this is a big dive in kind of profession. Yeah. And God, if anything shouldn't be that, it's professional dog grooming. These are live animals we're working with. These are loved pets, beloved pets that need to be protected. Groomers need to be protected too, and so do the pet owners because no pet owner deserves to drop their pet off for a grooming and then get that call where something happened. Listen, they've passed. That's horrifying.
That is horrifying.
If it can be avoided, then it needs to be avoided,
Right. So we're going to talk more about this in the future because, again, this is going to be an ongoing discussion, and we're going to try to bring as much information about this in future shows. Sorry this show wasn't so lighthearted or funny, guys, but again, like I said in the beginning of the show, this one was a little bit more serious, and we really wanted to get this out there because we just felt it to be important.
Yeah, we don't want you guys to think that. I know this show kind of came off a little bit very, very serious, not what you guys are used to. Anybody who's listened to our show since the beginning, we usually all we do is laugh and make fun of each other and all that stuff. But we love dogs too much. We needed to talk about this today. I think that this is a very, very big issue and it's current event. It's happening right now, and it just only seems to be getting worse. So we were willing to not be funny today to talk about this because we needed to. And I'm not going to sit here and laugh about this because you can't. This is way too serious. And again, we do apologize for anybody who checked in today with us for a laugh. But this is definitely some I think this sort of trumped everything as far as, I don't want to be funny about this. I don't think we can be funny about this, and because this is an issue, and I want to help these dogs, I want to help these customers, and I want to help these groomers too. I want to help this industry. That's right. So we had to get a little serious on you guys today, but it was necessary, I think.
And our condolences go out to to Bijou, to Abby, to Scruffles, and anybody else who's lost a dog, at a grooming shop. So again, we just want to address it, and we're going to fix it. I believe we're going to fix it.
We are going to fix it. If we all band together, we are going to fix it. And we just got to all take our egos out of it. Everybody's got to team up here. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's just about fixing it. We need to fix it because these are innocent animals. And like I said before, the pets are the only ones stuck in the middle who don't have a say. They don't have a voice. They literally don't have a voice. So they can't tell us, hey, guys, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do that?
And with it being said, let's ensure that good groomers have the opportunity to do their job, and we wean out the bad groomers, because there's just way too many bad groomers.
There are bad groomers out there.
Too many.
A lot. There's good groomers out there and there's bad groomers out there, but you could wean out the bad groomers by making this. It needs to be a more difficult profession to get started on. It's too easy to just jump right into it.
That's why I'm advocating for good groomers out there, because with good groomers out there, there's going to be less injuries and less deaths. So
and there you go. And then that's the goal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by and hanging out with us today. Again, sorry it was a little bit more of a serious episode, but we love our pets. We love you guys. And if you stuck with us through the whole thing, we really appreciate it. As always, we'd like to thank our producer, Mark Winter. Thank you so much, Mark. If you haven't done so already, head on over to our YouTube channel. It's called Grooming by Rudy. That's Grooming by Rudy on YouTube.com. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. We want to hear from you guys. Definitely leave a comment, because lately a lot of you guys have been, if you're listening to this on YouTube, you've been leaving a lot of comments lately, and we love that, because we want you guys to ask questions. We want you guys to give us some of your own opinions and stuff like that. So good job on that, guys. Keep doing that, please. We love talking to you guys. You could also like Grooming by Rudy on Facebook, follow Grooming by Rudy on Instagram and Twitter. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and until next time, take care of yourselves and your pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.